Hey guys, it's Joshy here, and I am back with another ways to use video. Now before we get into it, let me first apologise for the distance between these two, or times between the last one and this one. This has a sheer force of a large number to do, plus other things coming up and etc. Now if I do stutter, stumble, or speak weirdly at the moment, this is because I'm sustained a jaw injury, which is actually really painful, but I really want to bring this to you guys. But anyway, we are looking at 10 ways to use the mouse Pokemon Sandslash. Now this was a request, so I really do hope you enjoy it. I'm looking at both Alolan and Cantonian, and I will not be doing one then the other. They will be integrated because there are similar sets between the two that I think are better off shown one after another, and you know, we can skip between them and enjoy it the whole way through. Now we're going to look at both of them, but let's look at the stats for the Cantonian original first. We'll start with the abilities. Both of them only have one ability and then a hidden ability. So for Cantonian we have Sand Veil, which raises our evasioncy during a sandstorm, and then our hidden ability is Sand Rush, which doubles our speed during a sandstorm. Our stats are pretty interesting. Our base speed is 65, which isn't too bad, especially when you can double it. Then our special defense is, 55, special attack 45 isn't great, but then our defense at 110, attack at 100, and HP at 75 definitely can put in some work there. And I mean, with or without speed, if we're versing something physical, we can usually do well. Now let's jump over to the Alolan before we run into it. This guy has Snow Cloak, which raises your evasioncy in the hailstorm by one level, the exact same but for hail. And the same again, we've got Slush Rush as our hidden ability, which doubles our speed during hail. So we're virtually just a different weathered version, but we go from a ground type in the Cantonian to a steel ice type, which is actually a really cool thing. Although we have a lot of resistances, we do have 2 4-time weaknesses. But anyway, we have a speed of 65 again, but then our special defense goes up by 10 to 65, our special attack drops only to 25, and then our defense being 120, our attack staying at 100, and HP staying at 75. So virtually, just stat-wise, we're getting 10 added to both defenses and 20 off our special attack from the original. Now, just before we start, last thing, please remember these sets range from extremely viable to gimmicky, and although I do use a battle tower for quick access to battles to show off, they may work better or worse in a real battle against people, and these all weren't achieved in one battle. Some of these took me a while to get something decent to show to you guys. But let's get the ball rolling. So looking at number 10, now in no particular order overall, technically, we're going to start with a pretty standard set. So here we are, we have our Alolan Sandslash, we're running Icicle Crash, Iron Head, Hail, and Sword Stance. Now, if you have a look here as well, we are running the Slush Rush ability, so we're max speed, max attack with an adamant nature. As you can see, both stats are quite nice at 52, and then we have speed is going to be doubled in the rain. Hail. And then we have the Icy Rock to extend the hail itself. Now, I did want to show you guys something with it, and you'll see what I mean. So anyway, we're up against Dr. Angie. Now, she's going to start Drifloon. Now, that I was quite happy with. And I'm going to have my Sandslash, obviously. So, first turn, the aim is really, I'm going to get my Sword Stance up. The reason, obviously, being an attack boost. And this thing most likely won't be taking me out in one hit. And it's going to pull the Shadow Ball. Now, I know it's going to do some damage because my special defense is not as good as my defense, and it does quite a lot, about 2/3. So I'm going to Dynamax here. Being able to do so then allows me to do 2 things. 1, definitely live the next hit, but 2, I'm able to set up the hail while attacking. Now, you need to remember that that is actually really, really good to do because, well, I'm able to, it's 2 birds with one stone, or 2 balloons here. That way, this Drifloon's not going to survive without any form of Sash or Endure, and I'm going to take it out, and the hail's set up, so now he's not going to be outspeeding me. I ended up actually going first there, so I'm not sure why that happened, but that didn't matter. So next we're going to have the Toxtricity coming in, and I was pretty happy with that, because I can now just deal with this as well. I'm not expect anything. But this one I kept in. I wanted to show you guys. As you can see here, thanks to the Icy Rock, even though the hail wasn't set up by the move hail, but set up by a Dynamax move, it still has its duration increased to 8 turns, thanks to the Icy Rock. So do remember that. I'm able to go for my next max hailstorm. Remember, I'm at double or plus to attack, so it's doubled. I only have 1 Swords Dance, and that is still a quite monstrous attack stat. I'm definitely going to be taking that one out. And then our last one coming in is Roserade. So I was like, okay, well, I really haven't got a chance to show off our other move, but I'm just going to go for it here. I mean, you guys, the only other difference is, well, Dynamax, I can go for a defense boosting move if I wanted, or I've at least got coverage with another stab. It survives with a Focus Sash, but it's hailing, it's going to power whip me, and blah 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 blah, it's going down. So, mini sweep there, but that's not the hardest thing to do in the Battle Tower sometimes. And, yeah, that's a cool start to our set, you know, really making use of a Slush Rush attacker. Stepping into number 9 now, I shouldn't say this is numbers, but on to our next. This is a Sandslash. Now we are looking at a very similar set this time, but looking at it a little bit differently. We're going with our Stone Edge, Swords Dance, Endure, and Earthquake. Now, we are a Sand Rush as well, so we're looking for that. This time we're running a Jolly Nature with max speed, max attack, a little bit in defense. And then, as you can see, well, in a second, I am running the Salic Berry as the item. Now the reason being is I'm actually this time, with this set, I thought I could easily put Sandstorm on him if I wanted. But what my idea with this one was, I can set up Sandstorm with a Dynamax move. But if I am unable to get the Sandstorm up, or I'm versing people who have their own way to prevent my, you know, Sandstorm working, I can find just like this. So as you can see, I can get the Swords Dance off. Actually, it may not come up. So what I can do anyway, as I was saying, I can endure a hit, and by enduring a hit, I can pop a Salic Berry if I live on a low enough HP, and then I'm getting a speed boost. Now I am only at 1.5 the speed with a Salic Berry. I am not doubled like I would in naturally Sandstorm, but as I said, there are Pokemon that will be able to wall that move. So here I get both, and if you are versing someone who's incredibly fast, the Salic Berry can actually do really well, and this would actually be really interesting to deal with some, you know, your Sand Rush Excadrills and stuff like that. So anyway, I've got some boosts off. He wasn't doing much, so I took the opportunity to get a couple more boosts. We're going to get a Shedinja coming in, which I ain't afraid of, because as you know, I'm carrying the Stone Edge. Now, if I Dynamax there myself and went for Rockfall, max Rockfall, I could have set up the Sandstorm and he would have died at the end of this turn, but no. Now, the Axis does an alright amount. I thought I might get Shadow Sneak, so I didn't want to endure that one because I'm sure he has Shadow Sneak on him, but nonetheless, I'm able to kill him there. Now, I really wanted to show off the Endure to you guys, but this guy's gonna go, you'll see what happens. So I go for the Endure. All I want to do is show the speed boost off, but I've explained it enough already. He's gonna go for a Defend Order, you know, and then I'm just like, wow, I'm just, come on. And then he goes for the Protect because, you know, just delay it. Now, I could have cut this video here, but they're not long and I've cut out turns, so. The only problem with this set is flying type Pokemon do have an advantage if you don't have any Stone Edge. I would suggest, if I were you, and going to run this as a prominent either sweeper or working person, is possibly increasing the PP on Stone Edge. Anyway, we're moving into our next one, and this one is another really interesting one. This is a standard one now. This is an Avalanche, Rest, Gyro Ball, or Gyro Ball, however you pronounce it, and Curse set. Now, Curse is really cool. I enjoy it here. We are running a Sassy Nature, max Special Defense, max HP, and a Chesto Berry there. Now, this one, really, the reason I didn't bother putting much into attack is because we have decent attack stat. We have quite a good defense stat without either of them boosted, so we can make use of those anyway. So, obviously, I'm going to be leading off here in a Curse, and it's going to do its job, you know. That makes so much sense. My speed's going to fall, which is going to boost my Gyro Ball, but also I'm going to get that attack and defense boost. Unfortunately, somebody has body press, and I was like, great, of course he does. So I ended up thinking this turn I probably can live one hit, but now being slower, I could be outsped, and I don't want to risk that. So I'm going to go for the rest, for the simple fact that I need to make sure I'm going to live. Now I've got the Chesto, so Resto, Chesto, awake I go, and I have the chance to do more. Now I thought, well, I haven't been able to get too much off here, so I'm going to go for my Dynamax, because I haven't been able to boost myself too much, but I have got a plus in attack, so I'm running at least at a decent offensive base now, even without a lot of EVs poured into there. So I'm going to go for my Max Spike, Steel Spike, because I can get a defense boost off that still. As much as I'm not getting the attack boost, I'm getting the defense boost as well. Now, if I wanted to go for Max Hailstorm, which I could have off of Avalanche, I could have created Hail, which, you know, would have helped out. But, you know, it didn't matter anyway, because I'm running a Snow Cloak ability, which I actually didn't say earlier, and that's to benefit, you know, obviously just avoiding attacks. Obviously Rotom's going to outspeed me, but a Max Hailstorm will definitely do some damage, and as you can see, being max HP, max special defense, I don't actually take that much damage. Now, that would have been close to half around that area, not Dynamaxed, but it's still good, you know what I mean? Like, I'm able to decently take a hit. So we're going to get the Blossom coming in, and I just wanted to show this turn off here. He goes for a Protect anyway, but I actually went for a Max Guard because I just wanted to show off the move Avalanche. For those who don't know, Avalanche is a really cool move. It's got a negative priority, but what it does, if I get hit by the opponent, who is apparently going to pull off a double Protect just to be a pain in the ass, I can then get a double power on the hit. Now, by itself, it's only, I think, base 60, but base 120 when hit, and then also stabbed. And there you go, that is a Snow Cloak in activation, as you can see, or activation working, whatever. You can see that his hit actually missed me because of Snow Cloak. It's 100% accurate, and it's actually not the only 100% accurate move that misses during these things, and you'll see. But anyway, he's finally going to hit me there, and I'm going to go for the Avalanche, which is going to be super powered up, plus double attack, so I am definitely very happy with those results. So that guy's going to go down, but as you can see, this Curse one works quite well, and, you know, providing you don't come in against the worst matchup. So into the next one, number 7, we are looking at this Sandslash. We have Defense Curl, Amnesia, Poison Jab, and Sandstorm. Now this is a fun little set. Unfortunately, we don't have Toxic anymore because I would have liked that. But we are running a Careful Nature, max both defenses. We're going here, max defense and max special defense. And we've got Sand Veil, plus our leftovers. So Sand Veil can come in handy, as we just saw Snow Cloak did. So in this circumstance, this could be an actual really cool one. Now this is a bit of a different type of set, but if you can find yourself an opening to set up some defenses, you can be pretty cool. Now, just a heads up, this I'm only really showcasing against the Ludicolo because of things that happen and it takes a while. So I'm going to boost my special defense here with an Amnesia. So 1 Amnesia is double defense, 2 Amnesias is triple defense, and 3 Amnesias is 4 times, sorry, not defense, special defense. So that is quite good. That means from what I'm looking at is about 240 base special defense, well not base, but special defense after 1 Amnesia. After the Rain Dance, I didn't know what we were going to expect. I was hoping it was going to be special. I didn't know, so I'm just going to go for a second Amnesia, hoping for the best. But he went for the Protect, so thank you for another turn. So I thought, well, I'm guaranteed an attack this turn, so I went for the Poison Jab. I don't, unfortunately, get a Poison off, which is the base of this set. We are a Poison kind of stalling set, which generally isn't the best overall, but I guess if your Poison stall relies on attacks, then you at least can wear him down more with that. But somebody's going to be a super recovering Ludicolo and just a bit of a pain. So anyway, I then thought, well, there's a good chance he's going to Protect again, which I was correct, so I'll go for the Sandstorm. Now, the point of this Sandstorm is 2 things. 1, continuous damage to the opponent. 2, a boosted chance to them to miss. So it's as if you have used 1 double team, virtually. Which, as much as we know, doesn't isn't the, like, you know, most chance to miss, but it's a good chance nonetheless. So unfortunately all his stupid recovery is going to keep him in here a little bit longer, and it's going to wear me down, which I was a little bit disappointed with because I wanted to see stuff work. Unfortunately as well, normal Sandslash or Cantonian Sandslash doesn't get Iron Defense, which would have been really cool instead of Defense Curl, because Defense Curl gives you 1 boost in defense while Iron Defense would have given you 2. But for the fact we've got naturally higher defense, it's still pretty good, and we've only got solid, you know, 2-time weaknesses only being ground type. We've got grass, water and ice, but that's it. You know, we don't have anything 4 times. So he's going to go for the Rain Dance because of the Rain Dish, but at least we've got the poison off, so he's now going to be doing that. Without the Toxic, we are definitely not getting the whole, you know, growing poison, but for the fact that we can do more damage with a stronger attack isn't a bad idea. I mean, not the best set overall, but if you wanted to try and make a bit of a poison stall, this isn't the worst guy to run with. And as I said, I'm versing this guy. He just obviously isn't running an attacking move, or at least a decent one. So I'm going to go for the Sandstorm again. I thought he would possibly go for the Protect that turn, so I was wrong. But then he's going to pull the Drain Punch, and I was like, there it is. And we get to see a miss there with our Sand Veil. So as I can showcase again, another use of that. Now, I mean, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't much, but it was still, you know, a whole miss. Now, I hadn't boosted my defense yet, so it still would have hit me, I'm going to say adequately, but it would not have been much. Being non-stab, just neutral, you know, it's not a heat. So here I'm going to go for the other Poison Jab, and, like, at this stage, that's going to be enough to take him out. Now, because of the Leech Seed, I ended up swapping and beating the rest without him, unfortunately, during this battle, because I didn't find a good opening to bring him back in and have to boost him up. But that's an example of where we go with that one. On to number 6. Now, this one, I really like this one. It's just a bit of fun. So we are a Rapid Spin, Iron Defense, Steel Roller, and Leech Life set. And I really like it. Now, we are running we're running an Adamant Nature here, and we are max attack, max defense, a little bit in HP. I would suggest, with this one he's level 100 because he did hatch before having the right stats, so I had to rework him. And then he's got a Figgy Berry here. So I was like, I'm interested to see if I can get this to work. Now, as you can see here, I'm not leading off with this Sandslash. I'm actually leading off with an Indeedee. The reason I'm leading with Indeedee is I want the hidden ability activation for Psychic Surge. Now, you could run this type of set in a doubles battle, and especially with an Indeedee or someone else, you could possibly use a Follow Me or a Swap Spot if you were worried about getting hit with a Fighting or a Fire move. And that was kind of what I was a little worried about coming out on Alchemy. I'm like, if this thing pulls a Mystical Fire, I'm going to be pissed. But it didn't. And now I'm able to go for the Steel Roller, which is a really cool move. It only it's able to be used if there is a terrain in place, and it will get rid of it. And it's about base 130 power. So it is a massive hitter. At max attack with this thing, I'm going to do damage to anything with that. And I like it. So Crustal's going to come in and go for the Rock Slide, and I was like, okay, well, I can get an Iron Defense off, but of course I flinched, and I thought, oh well, at least I got that Figgy Berry there. I'm going to go for an Iron Defense. This time I don't flinch, thankfully, and I'm able to double my defenses there. So I will live another one, but the thing is now there is no terrain up, which you've got to remember. So he goes for a Swords Dance. I took the opportunity to go for another Iron Defense because I knew I was going to live another hit without a crit. And so now I'm looking pretty safe for wherever I'm sitting at. So I thought, you know what, I probably could go for one more because I'm going to live. It's going to do a decent chunk because he's double, I'm triple defense, so I've still got that little bit extra on him. But I'm going to pop the Figgy Berry and go up a decent amount of HP there. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm sitting in an adequate area. I'm able to go for the Iron Defense. Now I'm at max defense. I thought, here's my opportunity. Now, I just thought I'm going to Dynamax here because I can't use Steel Roller, but I can use a Steel Roller's Max Steel Spike. And that's the joy of a Dynamax. You can make use of a move that isn't always usable, like even Belch, you can Dynamax and make use of that. So he's going to go for another Rock Slide. It's going to do so little at a Dynamax max defense, even though he's double attack. And he's going to have... It's going to have Sturdy. So what I wish there is I went for the Leech Life. Now, the reason I wanted to go for the Leech Life is because I would have done okay damage. It wouldn't have been amazing, but I would have got some HP back. And at max defense, if I'm not taking a heat from the opponent, then I could be recovering more than I'm taking. So now we're going to get the Eldegoss coming in, and I really did want to try and show off that I had the bug move. So I'm going to go for the Max Flutterby, and that's going to be enough to take out the Eldegoss. But if I wasn't big, I got a crit as well. But if I wasn't big, I would have been able to go for the Leech Life, and that would have been a nice chunk of HP coming back to me as well. So it's a really cool set. I don't know if I pointed out, but I do run Snow Cloak. I don't actually have an Ice move on him, but if I do have that Hail set up, then I have a chance. So on to the next one. We are looking up to, or we're stepping up to the number 5 here. We are running a Sandslash with Agility, Earthquake, Leech Life, and Rock Slide. So we are running a Jolly Nature, max speed, max attack. We're running Sand Veil because I wanted to run an attacker that wasn't reliant on Sand Rush, and so I'm going for that, and we've got the Lychee Berry there. So it's, I really enjoy this set, really I do overall, because Agility generally isn't a move you think to see on Sandslash. Now, it's not something I'd go definitely can't learn, but it's not something I naturally think Sandslash would learn. So anyway, he's going to go for a Protect, so I thought this is epic, because he's going for a Protect for the speed boost. I'm going to go for the Agility, literally just so I can get my own speed boosted. So I'm double speed, he's at 1.5, so depending what his investments in that are, I may outspeed. But he does still outspeed me, but goes for the Swords Dance. And I was like, alright, well, okay, that's fair. You're going to outspeed me next turn for sure. So I go for the Rock Slide, and I was like, okay, this could be a bit of a worry. But if I Dynamax, nonetheless, I can survive. But don't need to, because Ninjask is going down there, even with his berry. So I'm like, sweet. Now, you got to remember here that I am a Lychee Berry, so that's my only attack boost on here. If you wanted to swap possibly Leech Life or something out here for a fighting type move, then while Dynamaxed, you can boost your own attack. But I decided not to do that because as much as I have showcasing Dynamaxing in a lot of the battles, you got to remember only one Pokemon per battle Dynamaxes, and especially if you're in a 6v6, it's not everything you want. So that way you could, I think, running Leech Life on there also gives you more coverage. It covers bug Pokemon, and grass Pokemon, which you're weak to, and that way we get that recovery coming off. So here I went for the Rock Slide. Like, I could have gone for the Max Flutterby, but I went for the Max Rock Fall because I get the Sandstorm up. And with the Sandstorm up, then I'm able to, do alright. So the reason I went for Max Flutterby here and not Max Quake is I wanted to see how much damage I'm doing. I'm doing over half. I really didn't want that because... And then I get a crit, and I was like, fair enough. I wanted to see how much damage. Now, I did drop his special attack as well, and he still does a good chunk to me, like just around 80 odd damage, so I've got to be careful. So anyway, I thought I'm just going to go for the Max Quake here. You guys get it. Now, I didn't go low enough, but with a Lychee Berry, I'm at 1.5 attack, so being able to recover with Leech Life is actually really cool, and I think that is one of my favourite move alterations out of the last couple of generations. So there's another example of a speedy one, making use of agility instead of an ability. So anyway, we are on to our next one we are looking at, and this guy is pretty cool, I think so. So we are running another Alolan Sandslash. We are Swords Dance, Counter, Metal Burst, and Flail. So I'll go over both those two moves in the middle in a second. But anyway, we are running a Jolly Nature with max speed, max attack. Now, if you want to do more damage, you can... we've got Slush Rush too, because it's just extra speed. Now, we've got the Focus Sash, so we definitely live a hit. Now, if you wanted to do more damage with a Counter or Metal Burst from something you're weak to or a super boosted opponent, you can run max HP. So even if you are going to be one shot, you're going to be putting more damage back onto them. Now, I'm leading off with my little Shelmet here. Now, there is a reason I'm leading off, because I want to be able to get a little boost off with this Sandslash, but I need to do it without taking any damage. So I'm going to go for a Yawn, and my aim here here is to pop this guy into a little sleepy state so I can at least get one Swords Dance off before he wakes up, and then I can get my plan rolling. The other thing is as well is by going for this setup, I actually can see how the opponent is attacking. In terms of this bear tick, I see a physical move, but there are, especially in the battle tower, there are so many random weird sets that I love, but when I'm trying to show off stuff, it can be a bit of a problem. Now, what Metal Burst does, whatever I get hit with, I reply to them with 1.5 times the damage I got hit off. Now, the difference there with counter is counter hits them back for double the power or damage, but it's only on physical moves. So that's why I run both. If I know they're physical, I will go for counter, providing they're not a ghost type, obviously. Now, here is a bit of a problem because this bear tick decided to jump back and forth continuously, and this, I cut out a fair few turns here of weather, so I ended up getting myself fully set up. In the end, I just went for a hail. This is still at full HP, and I do a nice chunk of damage on this thing. I can't remember if I was +4 or +6 in attack, but at this stage it was getting a little bit ridiculous. He ended up swapping out, and I thought, good. So I cut a fair bit out, and then we saw the Excadrill come in. I thought, yes, 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 this is what I want to see. So I went for the counter. I don't do anything. Then he goes for the Sandstorm. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're a complete weather team. That's fantastic, but I just want to show off this set. And this one took me a little while because I just had people waking up too early, things not happening, and etc. So in the end, finally, he's going to go for the Earthquake. Take me down to my Focus Sash on 1 HP. I'm going to live it. And now, because I'm immune to the 2 hurting weathers, which is fantastic with the MI types, and I'm able to take out that guy there with the counter, so now I've got 2 to deal with. He's going to bring in the Seismitoad, which I'm like, sweet, this guy probably has Rain Dance and Swift Swim, but it's not activated, so I'm going to go for the Flail and take him out. For those who don't know, Flail does more damage the lower your HP is, and if you're on 1, I think the base power is about 220, so it's awesome. So now we're going to get the bear tick. I'm going to take it out, and I miss, because this thing obviously has Bright Powder, and it's a butthead. So unfortunately, I'm going to go down there, but that would be an awesome sweep to come into somebody you can get a setup on, and then be able to take out, and then just flail your way through. So on to the next one. We are looking at our next Cantonians one. This is a fun set. Now we're getting on to more of the gimmicky stuff. We've got Rollout, Fury Cutter, Agility, and Defense Curl. Now I really love this. I honestly do. We are running an Adamant Nature, max attack, max speed with Sand Veil because we're not relying on the Sandstorm for speed. I thought if we get Sandstorm set up, let's just hope they miss. And we got the weakness policy. How could I go on without a weakness policy set? So anyway, this is really cool. So for those who don't know, Rollout is an attack which increases damage every turn you hit up to a max of 5 turns in a row, but you can't choose another move. Fury Cutter increases in attack every turn up to a certain base power, which is a fair bit, but you can miss, but you can still swap. Now I'm going to bring in the Shelmet. The reason I brought in the Shelmet again is because then I can get myself a setup. Plus, I also can figure out just what I'm coming against, because there was a couple of times I tried this without him, and I just came in against the wrong stuff. I was like, oh my gosh. Far out. So anyway, this thing went for a Quiver Dance as well as a Leaf Blade, and I was like, you know what? Let's just go with it. It's fine. We'll just pretend and we'll see where we end up. So this thing's asleep, and now I get to show this off. So also, sorry, I forgot to say before, with Rollout, if you use Defense Curl the turn before you use Rollout, you are going to do more damage. Your next hit is actually extra power. I believe it's double powered Rollout then, so I'm actually going to get a nice big boost there on that. And that's so good. So anyway, he wakes up and goes for the Quiver Dance, and I was like, oh, okay, I was expecting a Leaf Blade, which is literally why I went for Defense Curl, just so I get the, I wanted to get the Weakness Policy activation. But nonetheless, I went for the Agility, because that way I am now outspeeding everybody, except for possibly this guy who keeps Quiver Dancing. But I already outspeed him, because I'm very fast, which he isn't. I go for the Fury Cutter to build myself up. He's going to go for another Fury Dance. I was like, blah, blah, blah. And It's just back and forth. I was unsure what he was doing, but he's going to go for the baton pass, and I was like, you're just going to give me a free Fury Cutter. Now, Fury Cutter has been boosted twice throughout its time. Now it's sitting at a base 40 power to start with, which is much nicer. So my second hit is going to be plus 80, and then the next one's plus 160, and I think it caps at about a 220. I could be a little bit wrong there, but it's approximately correct. So I'm able to get another one off, and that's going to be enough to take out the Vileplume. Honestly, like, that is a really nice hit. And you got to remember, I have no boosts to my attack yet. This is just natural base power. Now, I could have kept going with the Fury Cutter because it's quite dangerous. I mean, get hit with a weakness policy, +1 agility, and 2 Fury Cutters off by that stage. Everything's going to be afraid. This thing would have been down in one hit. But I wanted to showcase my rollout and give him a chance to give me a weakness policy boost. So I'm going to go for the defense curl to boost my rollout, then go for the rollout. And he's, as much as he's going to pop a berry now, he's going to get the speed boost. I don't care. I just want him to hit me, honestly. He just keeps dancing. So, final attempt, I was like, yes, okay, good, he outspammed. He went for the Leaf Blade, no critical hit, but even at a critical hit, he still shouldn't have taken me out, I don't believe. And I'm gonna, get that boost off and then go for the rollout. So this rollout's gonna hit, well, I mean, it's gonna kill, is what I mean. But I'm now not only double the power of the hit before, I'm also double attack. Lastly, we're going to see the Grimmsnarl coming in. I'm like, I wonder what we're going to have come from him. He's going to go for a taunt, and I was like, I ain't afraid of no taunt, because I am now going to be able to do a lot of damage here. And it's a one-hit kill. So both of those attacks are power boosting, and it takes a little bit of a setup, and it's a tiny bit gimmicky, but that's one of my favourite sets of this whole lot. Alright, and now we're on to our second last one. And this is, we're stepping up again. So we're running a Rapid Spin, Triple Axle, Icicle Spear, Pin Missile. Now, the reason I'm running both Triple Axle and Icicle Spear is 100% accuracy. Triple Axle is like a triple kick, so if I'm going to hit all three, I'm going to do more damage. I'm running max speed, max HP with Snow Cloak. I'm not really here for the big damage as much as I am for bits of things here with the King's Rock. I'm aiming for the flinches. Now, let me just tell you now, this is only a quick example because I had the matches like this one where things showed up and went really well. The next Pokemon was someone who just countered me, and as much as I swapped around and won battles, I was like, well, there's no point. But I got to show out here. So he's going to go for a Leer. He's knowing he's probably not going to take me out in one hit. And that's good. I'm max speed, max HP. And I'm going to go for a Rapid Spin. So as long as he doesn't go for a Dragon Dance, which he didn't, we know, I'm now going to outspeed him with that speed boost. So I'm going to go for the Icicle Spear. I was like, there's a good chance if I hit 5 times here, he's going down. But no, of course, Josh only hits 2 times. And let me tell you, I actually hit 2 times more than anything else. So he flinches there. I'm like, thanks, babes. And I'm going to take out the Haxorus here with our next turn. Now, if you want to cause more damage, the Triple Axle is only guaranteed 1 hit if it hits, but it can give a higher hit. And then you got that. That's it. And then you got your, your Pin Missile to coverage there. But anyway, we're on to our last set, which is really fun. Of course, I couldn't go without making a special set. We'll work up Sandstorm, Scorching Sand, move I love, and Focus Blast. We are running a Modest Nature here with max special attack, and then it's supposed to be 100 in speed and the rest in defense, but apparently someone's missing. I think I'm missing 1 or 2 things there. We've got Sand Rush here, so we do get a speed boost within the Sandstorm itself, and then we've got the Mago Berry here because we're after that recovery after setup. We're trying to give ourselves an opening. Now, you may ask, we're on to the last one, why is there not going to be a special Alolan Sandslash? Because he's only got base 25 special attack, it's ridiculously hard to get anything worthwhile, and you're going to have to do a few turns of setup. The good thing, though, is if he had an ability that would work, it doesn't. So here we're just going with work up. The other way you can boost yourself if you want to rely on a Dynamax here is you can go for a Dynamax poison-based move, which will have to be physical if you wanted to, but it will give you a boost into your special attack. But I suggest really work up's probably better off. Even if you wanted to run a mix set with this, 2 work ups, both attack and special attack are pretty good. So if you didn't want to run Focus Blast or Scorching Sands and wanted to change one, you could, but I really liked running these moves. So anyway, now we're going to be outspeeding everything. I thought I'm just going to go for the Dynamax here, because what I can do now with the Dynamax, I can raise my attack with the Focus Blast, but, well, not a Focus Blast, but, you know, I can go for a Max Quake here off of Scorching Sand. Now, I'm going to outspeed because it's Sandstorm, but the good thing about this is I'm actually going to boost my own special defense. So having anybody come in now being specially offensive, I have a much better chance to take him out. So I'm pretty happy with that, and that's the thing, that's why I don't have any special defense investment. So now we're going to have the Orb Beetle come in, and this is a guy I was like, alright, let's see. So I'm going to go for another Max Quake. I'm expecting this thing to be specially offensive, so second Max Quake off, if not a third, is definitely going to give me a better chance to, you know, deal with what he's going to hit me with. And then he's going to go for a Light Screen because, you know, why not just make it even harder for me to get a special Sandslash to work? But that's alright, we've already proven we can do okay. So we're going to go for a Max Quake again. Now I'm at +3, so that's 2.5 special defense. Whatever he's going to hit me with shouldn't do an overly crazy amount of damage, you know? Anyway, so that boost is there. He's actually going to pop a berry. I was like, not recovery, not recovery. I was like, God damn it. And I was like, oh, of course. So he's got a citrus berry, so we've got more to work through. He's going to go for the bug buzz. And as you can see, that's actually only doing about 15 damage to me. So those boosts there is quite nice. So I'm going to go here for the Scorching Sand. Now, what Scorching Sand is, it is a special ground type move, but it has a chance to burn, and we can prove it there. So it's kind of like a ground type Scald, and I think it's definitely something we needed. I'm going to get knocked a bit lower, but I've got that Mago Berry myself, so I'm able to recover a nice chunk of HP there. And yeah, the Sandstorm's going to subside, but I'm like, well, the thing is as well, whether I set it up or not, I'm going to be outspeeding. Then I was like, oh, actually, I'm wrong. And that is because Orb Beetle is naturally faster. But the reason, naturally faster than I expect, I mean. But the reason I do set it back up is because it wasn't really the speed base that I really wanted overall. It was the damage that I wanted coming from it, because this thing is just dragging it out. Now his Reflect wore off, but he's still got a Light Screen up. I'm going to go for the Scorching Sands again, because that mixed with the, you know, Burn and Sandstorm, he'll be going down this turn. He's going to hit me again, does a bigger chunk than I expected, but that's okay because those two together are going to take him down, and I'm really happy with that. Now the next one that he brought in did have a priority move against me, so he did end up taking me out. But I was +2 in special attack, so that's over 200 special attack. And as I said in that set, if you wanted to run a mix set, you can quite convincingly do so. And then you could run a poison jab there. So that way, if you do Dynamax and use a poison move, you're boosting your special attack even further. But guys, I really hope you enjoyed this, because this was a lot of effort to put together overall, and this has been quite painful to record vocally. Luckily, I have good painkillers. But if you did enjoy it, guys, don't forget to, and because I really loved that set, can we Fury Cutter or roll out the like button here? Don't forget Discord, Twitch, and Twitter are in the description below. I definitely suggest going on to at least a couple of those to keep up to date. And finally, well, not finally, actually, the comment section. Whether you want to make comments on here, any other sets you could think of, ones you liked. I like hearing which ones you really liked, or, you know, which I love Shiny's comments when he's like, oh my gosh, that set is just perfectly, you know, playfully my type of thing and such. But if there's somebody else you want to suggest, I haven't started working on the next one yet, so you are welcome to pop that down there. I will possibly jump onto it. I may not straight away. There are a couple of things I want to do, but if I get to it, I get to it, and I love hearing from you guys there. And finally, if you like this type of content, my other streams and stuff I upload or anything, there is a subscribe button just there, and it is very, very much appreciated when you guys do tap that guy and including the bell. But if you don't, that is completely fine too. But anyway, guys, until my next video, I'll see ya